And we're live.
And it's Friday, so you know what that means?
Demo.
Friday Demo Day. Yay! Today we're going to talk about English paper piecing. Now, some people just call paper piecing. The reason that we call this English paper piecing is because paper piecing that is foundation piecing, you're actually sewing the fabric to the paper, using the lines on the paper to create a design. But English paper piecing, we are taking a shape of paper, a paper that has been cut into a shape, and we're folding the fabric around it, basting it, and then sewing pieces together. Different geometric shapes to form designs. So look at how, like this one here, took, and I'm not good with shapes, so I don't really know. Do you know, Alex, what shape that is right there? Looks like a diamond or something, I don't know. And here's a triangle, and then here's a hexie. And you see, because the sides are the same size, they fit into one another. And then by the way you cut your fabric, you can get these wonderful designs. Isn't that fun how you can do that? Now here's one that's just a plain hexie on a hexie. So that's kind of the, I would think that's the most traditional variation. Now if you want to go crazy with yourself, you could always do this. That's a 3/8 inch hexie. Is that right, Peter? 3/8 inch?
3/8 inch.
Compared to this 1 inch hexie. Now, when we say 1 inch hexie, we're not talking about the width of the hexie. We're talking about the edge of the hexie. So there, from there to there is an inch. So from here to here is 3/8. So that's, you've got to measure on the outside of the hexie, not across the entire hexie, to get the size. So that's just some really fun things that you can do. I've never really gotten into all this different shapes, but look at what we got. We got some wonderful kits in. These are hot off the press. We just got these in. Here's a Christmas ornament 1 and Christmas ornament 2. And it has all the foundation pieces in there. You just add the fabric and the stitches, and voila, you've got some fun Christmas ornaments. Look at these pretty angels. Isn't that fun? Now I'm intrigued by
Now,
these.
did you notice that Bonnie came right up as soon as you said pretty angel?
Yeah, there you go. And I'm excited about these bowls. Now Peter and I are going to do a video later on. You know how we did the tomato together? We're going to do a bowl together. The thing about the hexies is Peter already knows how to do English paper piecing. So it's not going to be as big a deal. But it'll still be fun for us to make one together. So we're going to make a bowl together, okay?
Nice.
So look forward to that. And then here's the other set of
Look at
bowls.
that one right there. Isn't that cool?
So, like I said, you get all the different shapes. So I'll be excited to do the different shapes.
Me too.
Because I've only ever done a hexie before.
I've only ever done a hexie and a diamond, I think.
Yeah, a hexie and a diamond. Well, here's a little kit that we supply here at Always in Stitches. And it has everything you need to get started. So I'm going to go through that with you. First of all, the thread. There's 2 kinds of thread. I'm not sure why they put 2 kinds of thread in there, but this is a 50 weight. This is an 80 weight. I like the 80 weight myself, but if all you have is 50 weight, by all means, use your 50 weight. Here's some needles. The kind of needles that I like are number 9 straw needles. Couldn't think of the name. Straw needles. A straw needle is where the eye and the shaft of the needle are the same size. So you know sometimes when it gets to the eye of the needle, the eye kind of bulbs out. Well, these don't. They're straight. They go all the way through. They're a very thin needle too. Sometimes they're called milliner's needles. Straw needles and milliner's needles are the same thing. The kit comes with some fabric. Comes with a little instruction sheet. Comes with this template And I'm going to demonstrate why this template is so important. There's the template. It's a 1-inch hexie, and then it has a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Okay. And then here is a magnet. I'm going to show you what that's all about. Here's a glue stick. If you've never seen a glue stick for fabric, this is how it works. It's just like a tube of lipstick or chapstick or glue sticks like Elmer's glue school sticks. Don't use those because it's a different kind of glue. Not made for fabric. You get a pencil and you get some hexies. Okay? So that's what's in the kit. Everything you need to get started, to get hooked, I should say, because it's very addicting. It's a great travel project. And here it's everything you need all in a little bitty travel pouch. So that's kind of fun to do. And you can order those online or come in store and get those. So let's talk about fabric choices. Here's a fun fabric that has a lot of possibilities for fussy cutting. When I say fussy cutting, I mean I'm going to take my template and I'm going to, inside the template is a dotted line. And that's where my paper actually is going to land. So if I put this down and I'm looking at my little dotted lines to see where it looks best, and then I can just rotary cut that out. I was looking at this little mushroom a while ago, and I was looking at how that is so cute with that with those 3 mushrooms. I think that is so pretty. So that'd be a good thing to fussy cut. This would be a good thing to fussy cut, this little heart piece here. What about that? That's kind of a fun thing. And here's a little cross-stitch alphabet. So lots of different things that you can fussy cut and use your see-through template for. Now here, if you fussy cut out of a fabric that is a border fabric like this or a print like this, and you cut the same piece out over and over, this little mirror set can help you get an idea of how different designs look and what designs your repeat is going to be. Isn't that
Very
fun?
cool.
Now let me move it down here. Or let me move it over here. Is that getting it, Peter?
Yeah.
That's showing you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if we put it there? See how those stripes
Yes.
form that little design in the middle?
Absolutely.
That's fun, isn't it? So
And
you
what's
would.
that called? The mirror?
The mirror is called the Magic Mirror for quilting.
Let me get a picture of that.
I don't know if that's the brand we still sell. We used to sell this brand, but we may have a different brand. But it does the same thing. And
That's cool.
Yeah, it tells you how to use that just as a visual. That's just for visual. Okay? So, I've used my template and I've cut out a bunch of hexies. And I want to do some, I found a bunch of old fabric. And so I cut a bunch of templates out from my fabric, from my old fabric. And I'm going to use this 1-inch hexie paper. And what's most important about English paper piecing is that your foundation papers need to be accurate in their cutting. So you think you might want to skip an expense and cut your own, if you're doing it by hand with your scissors, they may not nestle up as good as if you get them already laser cut. These have been cut by a laser, and they are accurate down to the millisecond, or whatever you want to call it, okay? They're very accurate, so they fit together very well. If you're hand cutting them, they may not fit as exact, but if you're not going for exact, then no big deal, right?
Exactly.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Hexie paper. I'm going to put a little dab of glue right in the middle there. And then I'm going to center it onto my fabric.
Why did you do the dab?
Well, because I don't want this moving around, okay? I don't want to end up at the very last one and not have any fabric because this is shifted on me. See that?
Yeah.
So by doing that, by just gluing in the middle there, it keeps it there in shape. And this glue is a lightweight glue. It's not a real grabby glue. It'll grab it long enough for you to stitch. But I wouldn't go around gluing like 2,000 of them and then expect to come back later and find them still glued. They may not be, because this glue will let loose at any bit of heat. If you have heat, if you live in Alaska, maybe you could get away with it. But because we live where there's lots of heat and humidity, the glue's going to dry out and the fabric's going to loosen its way. Because eventually you do want to take these papers out. They're reusable. So the investment, you can reuse them 4 or 5 times. So the investment is minuscule when it comes to the papers. So don't probably skimp on that, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to baste. Now the basting method, there's so many different ways to baste. There is this basting method where you just take and fold down the fabric. This is with, I basted with thread. So I just went like this, and I made a little stitch right there. And then I turned and did it again and made a little stitch, and no gluing, okay? There's also starch basting, where you take a little paintbrush and you take some starch and you paint the fabric and you fold it back over, and the starch kind of glues it down. I love the glue stick. Ever since they made these fabric glue sticks, that just changed the whole world for me for English paper piecing. There's a couple secrets though, okay? Don't use the whole flat. You don't need that much glue. And you don't want the glue up here in this edge, because that's where you're going to put your stitches. So you don't want to be stitching through glue, right? So you're just going to take the edge and you're going to go out to the fabric like that, okay? And you're just going to gently push that over. Now, you don't want to use a glob of glue. I used to own a quilt shop. I had a lady come in. She bought like 10 things of glue. The glue comes like this in little lipstick tubes. She bought about 10 of these, so that gave her 20 glue sticks. Not 3 to 4 days later, she comes back for more glue sticks. I said, what are you doing with all the glue? She says, oh, I'm English paper piecing. I said, you went through all 20 of those things of glue? And she said, oh, yeah. I says, well, how many blocks have you made? Oh, I don't know, 20 or 30. I said, my friend Judy, I'm going to have to put you on glue rations, honey. You can't be using that much glue. You're never going to get those papers out of there. So we had to put Judy on a little glue lesson.
She got on glue probation.
She got on glue probation. See how I went out into the fabric just a little bit? And I'm just going to bend that over. And I don't want to get it real snug. I mean, I want there to be a fold of fabric right there. I don't want to get it so tight that the paper is right up against the fold. I want to get it so it's just a little bit. And I'm going off onto the fabric.
I might have to be put on a glue ration.
You might do, or have you been using too much glue?
I'm using the flat face of the glue stick.
See, there's really no need for that.
Yeah, I'm not penciling it on like that.
Yeah.
But that's why I run out of glue.
Yeah.
So I did have to buy a couple packs.
Some people like to. Here's one that's down to the nub.
Hold on, let me get it in focus.
Okay. Some people dig that glue out and use that glue. I'm not that frugal, but you know, I'm pretty...
Just with your 1-inch squares, right?
Yeah.
On your quilt fabric?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty frugal when it comes to all fabric. And again, I'm going off onto the fabric there. And
So it looks like we're just folding fabric.
we're just folding fabric. That's all we're doing. It's like gluing and papers and paper dolls and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this can make it look so easy.
Isn't
Of course,
that
it is
fun?
easy, though.
It is easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy. So I glue about, you know, enough to make a round. And once you get your hexie surrounded, completely surrounded, you can pop out that paper. But see how these still have the paper in them?
Yes.
Yeah. You can't pop these papers out until you get all the way around. So I have to go here with a hexie, here with a hexie, and here with a hexie before I could take this hexie paper out.
I've seen people take those out, and they're just like, yeah, I take them out so I can reuse them. You know what I see? All their edges are all raggedy.
Yeah.
From moving them and
Yeah,
transporting them.
yeah.
And all the threads are coming loose on the edge of
Right.
the fabric.
Like this one, Peter, this is Peter's little baby one. He could go ahead and take that one out because it's all the way surrounded. I want you to notice how tiny his stitches are.
Those might be too tiny, huh?
He kind of overdid it on the stitching a little bit.
I think you can.
And
I
he
agree.
used red thread, so he might want to match his thread a little bit better.
Might have to rethink that, huh?
Even though this is very pretty, I think it's very lovely.
But I think those
But
are-
look at what a sewing machine stitch, how big that is.
But I think those are things you want to point out and know because
Yes.
if you're getting started, why not get
Hello?
started off the right foot?
Exactly. So I'm going to do another one here.
I bet you I won't make that mistake again,
I
Dawn.
bet you don't. Now I'm going to show you how to load this
Load your glue gun?
load your glue gun.
She's got a loader glue gun. Did you see these blocks that Sharon made?
Yes,
That
I've seen them
tulip
online.
pink fabric.
Okay, so the glue comes in a tube like this, okay? And it has this little plastic thing on the end. And if you roll your glue stick all the way up, your glue pen, and you can just force that in there, and then it comes out like that, and then you just wind your glue back down until it's at a reasonable length. If you let it be too long, it'll break off. So about, I don't know, is that about 1/4 of an inch up?
Yep.
Okay. Now I saved these for a long time and I had like, I don't know, 40 of them.
Those are great little needle cases.
Well, I wondered
What
what
do
to
you
do
use
with
yours
them,
for?
but if you use it as a needle case, you got to write on it what size needle you got in there. So I threw them away because I couldn't figure out anything to do with them. So anyway, I'm going to show you again. I'm going to
What
glue.
about, wait. I know what you can use them for.
What?
You know how you like those eensy, teensy, weensy, teeny tiny buttons?
Yeah. Yeah, you could put those
Or
in
what
there.
about your beads,
And then
if you do beads?
And then you could glue one on the end and know what you have, and then you
Yes.
could stack them. Oh, that's a great idea.
And don't
Peter.
forget about your glass beads, if you do beading.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Cappy, if you're watching, save them and use them for your glass beads.
Yeah.
'Cause she does
that
those.
peyote.
Peyote.
Peyote, is that what
Yeah.
it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of glue right there. Okay, now what I'm really focusing on is getting on my fabric, but not getting up next to the edge of that paper. And I'm not folding it over really tight. I don't want it to be real tight.
I fold mine over pretty tight.
Yeah, well
and I
that,
notice when I go to sew it,
Yeah, there's
you
no
can
room
kinda
for your needle.
feel or hear the paper.
yeah, because
so you
you don't
kinda
want to
have to-
pierce the paper.
No.
So leave you a little space there for the fabric where it folds over to be a little hollow in there. So there's that.
So is this a portable project? Do you
I
do
would
this
think
in-
it's very
in different
portable.
places,
Very
or
portable.
Do you just do it in one spot in your, wherever you do it, like in your sewing room or what?
I think you could take this on an airplane and do it on an airplane. You know what?
That's good for those intercontinental
Yeah.
trips.
Now here's all the threads that we have in 80 weight thread, and the reason you can tell is because it's got this wooden spool instead of like the regular spools are plastic. This is an 80 weight thread. That means it's very, very fine. And that's what you want, a fine thread and a fine needle. This is my number 9 straw needle. You can
It's
see.
so fun, I can't see it. There it is.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. And I've just got some neutral thread in there. And I've just made a little quilter's knot on the end. It doesn't
So
really
you like
matter.
the quilter's knot? Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
okay.
Good. Sounds
Some people
good.
use a knicker knot. Now that's N-I-C-K-E-R, knicker knot, like your bloomers or your knickers, you know? Have you ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. Have you? Okay. Let me get my thimble on. Everybody has their own preference for their thimble. So I'm not going to talk about thimbles because, you know, I think I tried 45 different thimbles before I found the one that was most comfortable for me. So I'm just going to start here at the corner.
Does it matter which corner?
Doesn't matter. On a hexie,
Does it
doesn't.
matter left to right or right to left?
It matters if you're left-handed or right-handed.
Okay.
You just do what's most comfortable for you. Oh,
So you just pick up the needle and thread and go with it. Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
and what I'm going to do, see how big this stitch is right here? I made this with my sewing machine. This is a 2.5 millimeter stitch. I'm just going to have that sit there because that's going to remind me that I don't have to do such a tiny stitch.
You don't have to do what Peter does.
I can just do a stitch that's about that width. So go to your sewing machine, get you some light thread, get you some dark fabric, and do a 2.5 stitch. And you just want to take a little bite out of each fabric. And the reason that I use a thimble, some people don't use a thimble, but this needle is so thin, it goes right through my skin, right through. And because I've
Now-
left that little space, my needle will just go right through both pieces of fabric.
I'm going to point out the obvious
Uh-huh.
because I made this mistake. Now, when you go through that, is your needle perpendicular?
Look at how it
to-
is.
Are you going perpendicular to the seam or are you going
am.
at an angle?
No, I'm going a whip stitch and I'm going completely straight. I'm going in and across, straight across. I usually do this under my magnifier.
Oh, should I go get one for you?
No,
Should I have somebody else bring it over here?
no, I'm good.
Okay. Because we have one over knitting.
I know we do. They're
And it's
wonderful.
wonderful.
They are wonderful.
Maybe we should demo it.
Yeah, we should maybe.
Okay, let me have the girl bring it over. Pam! Can you hear my voice? Can you bring over that magnifier that's on the table right there? Because I love that thing.
So now, that I've used, yeah, this is great. Look at this. Look at this. This is the Daylight Travel Magnifier. This is the magnifier here. It's got a LED surrounded circular bulb there. And what you can do is, when you're stitching, oh my gosh. Peter, you're going to have to come around here, okay?
Okay.
Hi.
What am I missing?
And I can turn it to face me, but look at how much better I can do this.
Okay, let me... You hold the work and then don't put your needle through and then move your head aside so I can get a view. So that I can show the people.
Is it in focus?
Yep.
I mean, look at how much easier I can see
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty far away from your work.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
That's amazing.
I know. Okay, so now, I should have had a whole bunch of these made beforehand, because now, if I was just doing them like this, like here, see, I just did a row,
Uh-huh.
and then I put these diamonds between,
Uh-huh.
I would knot off, okay? I would knot off.
You'd fall asleep?
Not off, but not off. But because I want to add another hexie, let me get another hexie prepared here.
Is not off the same way as the same thing as saying telling somebody to go away?
No,
You tell them not off.
not off. That's like, if you tell them to get away, it's like, go away.
Go away. I mean, not off is like two negatives, isn't it? Off and not.
Not
Not
if
is
it's
don't and off is-
K-N-O-T, not.
I know, but phonically.
But if you're trying to be humorous, not off. Now there is a not off. Hello. Here's Bonnie. She's learning about English paper piecing. We're just gluing the pieces down, Bonnie, and we don't want a lot of glue. We don't want the glue all the way up to the edge of the paper because that's where our stitch is going to go, and we don't want to stitch through the glue. Okay, now I'm going to, got these two, now I'm going to do this,
Well, this is the hard part.
okay? Now once I've got this on here, if it's getting a little cumbersome to hold, you can use these clips. But what we found, and we used to use these clips, oh look, it's up here. We used to use these clips all the time before we had, let me show you these. These are the bee's knees. They're called Sew Tights, and they are magnets. And they are the bee's knees. They really are. I love these. They're very strong. And when I say they're strong, I mean they are strong. So instead of doing the clips, I'm going to put the magnet there. And then I don't have, this is not going to slip on me. Okay? And the magnet, this magnet, Bonnie, it is phenomenal. Because look, I can turn this
Oh, that's nice.
any way I want to get it just to the right direction for me. And now that I've got that, this is not going to move around. And I can continue to sew. See how I didn't knot off? Peter's making fun of me because he thinks I'm saying knot off. Like go to sleep.
Or telling somebody to go away.
But what I'm doing is I'm taking a piece of the one hexie and I'm biting with the piece of the other hexie and I'm bringing my thread through. Now, the one thing that is really helping me is this strong needle. It's nice and thin and the shaft is big as the eye. The eye doesn't bulb out, so this is a smooth transition and it doesn't leave a big hole
This is a,
in my fabric. Now look at my width. See, there's my stitch, and I'm going to go about right there for the next stitch. See that? And see how I've pierced both sides. And I can tell I'm not going through any glue. And that's one thing. You don't want to gum up your needle with your glue. And you want to be able, you don't want to sew your paper because then you won't be able to get it out. Now see how far away that stitch is from that stitch? So many people think English paper piecing you have to put 1,000 stitches in one side. You don't. See that? And I'm just going straight across. Do you see that? My stitch is angling, but my bites are across from each other. See that? And then, once I get that done, I can take my magnet off, and when I open that up, you can barely see the stitches. You're going to see some of the stitches there. It's just inevitable to see some of the stitches. But this would make just this right here, just a 3 little patch on a little pin cushion. Or, oh, by the way, my pin cushion is a hexie. See, here's a hexie. And then this is half of a hexie, and the other half is over here. And so it makes for a fun little pin cushion. We got it full of sawdust or something pretty in there. But anyway, that's pretty much English paper piecing. You can do it there's hundreds of options on how you can put things together. But remember, we have these kits. They are so fun. Peter and I are going to do the bowl. Which bowl do you think you're going to do, Peter?
Either that one there.
Yeah, that's a nice
I want
one.
to do that one there.
Uh-huh.
I also like that one and that one.
I love this one.
But I do like those as well.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah,
so maybe I
that's
do
fun.
more than one.
Okay, well, maybe you will. We won't have time on the video, but we'll be back with a video. Make sure you come and watch us.
What fabric are you going to use for your bowl? Do you
I'm
know?
not sure. I'm gonna do some digging in my stash and.
Okay,
see
I got
what-
a challenge.
Okay.
I don't know if you're up for it.
Oh, well.
What if
What if?
we challenge each other? We can only use the strips that are in our 10-cent strip bin if they're wide enough.
Wow.
You want to do it?
No.
Okay. Well, you're no fun.
Well, you can do it. I'll challenge you to do it.
Well, I want to do it by myself.
You don't?
Yeah, if you're not going to do it.
Oh. No, I want mine out of something I want to do it out of. Because I want to be able to use
Fine.
it. Okay. You know, I'll
Fine.
probably use Kim Deal because you know how I love Kim Deal.
Well, that's what I was asking.
Or maybe some Kathy Holden. This is our new Kathy Holden fabric.
Okay, if you use
Curated by
Kathy
Cole.
Holden, I got to use Kathy Holden because I got to find all the horses and the birds.
I love Kathy Holden stuff. So that may be what I use. So, okay, visit us again sometime on Friday when we're doing demos. Bye.